APC Late Model Series makes its second trip of the summer up north, and the championship battle really is down to 3 main drivers. There's 2 races left in the season, and it's still Kyle Steckley, Jake Sheridan, and Joe Lawrence with the best shot at taking home the title. There are a few other drivers who could climb their way back into the action, but the best way to start tonight is to hear from those 3 competitors. I'm Adam Ross. Joining me tonight, Clinton Jeffrey and Jamie Maudsley. We've sent them loose to talk to the contenders. It's going to be a wild race here tonight on G-Force TV.
We're with Jordan Lawrence, the third-place driver in points, just 4 points out of the championship. And come here to Sauble. Last time here at Sauble, the season took a turn for the worst. Then you turned around, you went to Sunset, got your first win. I mean, it's been a swing the last few weeks.
Definitely a roller coaster, to say the least. But they always say racing's a humbling sport, so it's a part of the game, and we're here to have some fun and play with race cars. Really, that's what we want to do here.
Now I know you've won here in a late model before, limited late, something like that. And I know you're a former champ at Delaware. So are you all ready to go the last 2 weeks?
I think so. I love Sauble. Even since a little kid, raced a junior late model here a couple times, couple wins in those. We're chasing the APC win. It's the one that eluded us in 2020, and I always feel like we have good speed here by the end of the day. We just need to put it all together.
What's it going to take to wrap up this championship over the last 2 races?
Honestly, I'm in the mindset of 2 wins. It's Jake and Kyle, they're top-notch drivers, top-notch team. It's going to be a hard thing to beat.
Joe Lawrence, driver of the number 78 machine, getting ready for tonight's Stewart's Kubota 100 at Sauble.
We got Jake Sheridan here. Jake, see you under the car working on it. Nick tells me you're just looking for speed, so that's a good thing. If you're not fixing problems, it means you're going the right way today.
Yeah, seems like we show up with no mechanical problems, so we can't get out of our own way here. So we're working on it, man. We're trying really hard. Put a lot of work in this week and finally catching up on this thing here from that crash. So pretty intense, man. Point battle's close, and I like this track, but it's wearing off on me. So we're going to keep doing what we can here and work on some rear end stuff and make some adjustments, and she'll be fast by the race time. We're there at the end of it.
We just talked to Joe Lawrence, and he was talking about how it's going to take 2 wins to win the championship. Do you think that's what it's going to take to get her done?
Yeah, you better be on the podium here at least if you're going to win at Delaware. So that's my theory. I mean, we got a good car at Delaware. We know that. So really excited for the 200 lap race there. No matter what happens to the championship, I'm just really, really excited to go run that race. So, you just got to do what you can here, and the championship's going to work itself out. It's pretty hard to go against that 22 racing stuff right now. They got their stuff figured out, man, and they're good. They got good cars, and they make the right adjustments. So they're fast, and I'm just really excited to get Delaware regardless and get out of Sauble.
Right on. Let him get back to work. Jake Sheridan, guys, going to keep working on his car. He picked up his first APC Series win here a couple seasons ago. Watch for the 52 tonight to try and make that happen again.
When we come back, it's time to go racing on G-Force TV.
Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet. Our savory potato sides can be prepared any way you like. Serve warm or chilled, as a main or as a side. Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet. Create your way to great taste.
Rev up your engines and get ready for some high-octane action. G-Force TV is your one-stop destination for all the best racing action across Ontario. With free live coverage of the APC Series, Bushwick and Speedway, Southern Ontario Sprints, and much more. You won't miss a single moment of the excitement. Whether you're a diehard fan or a casual viewer, G-Force TV has everything you need to stay up to date on the latest racing news and events. Head to our website at gforcetv.net and start watching today. Get ready to experience the NASCAR Pinty Series Power Hour. Join your host and wingman, Cam K, every Monday night at 7 p.m. on G-Force TV for an hour of non-stop excitement and in-depth analysis of the hottest racing series around. From the latest race highlights to expert analysis and insider commentary, you'll get an exclusive look at everything you need to know about the NASCAR Pinty Series. Tune in for the NASCAR Pinty Series Power Hour, the ultimate destination for race fans everywhere.
So tasty, drive me crazy, ain't nothing I can do.
Welcome back to Sauble Speedway, where group number 1 has hit the track. Cole Quinton behind the wheel of the number 18. He'll come up to speed first. We've got Josh Stoddy in the 17. They've had all sorts of problems today, but that car seems to be back in racing form. Eric Della Riva in the 74. The 94 of Corey Luciano. And the 4 is Zach Sprung.
How about the youngster Cole Quinton going P1 overall here early on in that Spire Fire Protection Stage It With Style number 18. There's primetime Josh Stoddy again, bringing the red and yellow car out tonight. Sponsored by Canadian Flat Roofing Systems. There's Eric Della Riva.
We talked about drivers being comfortable here, and that's a great example. Cole Quinton laying down the fastest lap, although Josh Stoddy went a bit quicker, because this is a track where you accelerate in a straight line, you hit the brakes, and then you get back to the throttle and go. There's not a lot of tricks to this surface, or bumps, or dips, or surprises.
I was talking to Cole and his mom a little earlier tonight, and she's from this area. So she started to tell me all the brothers and sisters and brother-in-laws and aunts and uncles and cousins who have raced here. And I mean, I got twisted around inside of about 30 seconds trying to keep up. But I guess when you come to a place like this and you've got 10 different people in your family that have all raced here, like, they've got to be able to get you up to speed in a hurry. And it's shown so far. He's P1.
Well, I believe he is. Corey Luciano is second. Okay, now it's timing and scoring stalled there for a second. So Josh Stoddy the quickest in that group. Corey Luciano is second. Cole Quinton third. Eric Della Riva fourth. Zach Sprung fifth. Great to see this driver back. Sean McGlynn behind the wheel of that number 1. 22 is Chase Pinsino. The 54 is Danny Benedict. The 89C is Sean Chenoweth. And the 81 is none other than Andrew Gressel. I'm sorry, Caden Rye.
And the 1W. Yeah, no, that is not the same late model that that Sean McGlynn was in action with at Delaware last night.
My apologies, I'm not going to lie. We just got off the call of the NASCAR Pinty Series race from Quebec, so was looking at 25 different drivers. I thought that was the cockroach for Sean McGlynn.
22P. Chase Pinsino out there just getting his feet wet in late models. And he's had a busy last couple weeks, Adam, and successful second place finish last night. He got to second at Delaware behind Pat Friel, 2.3 seconds back with 7 to go. Reeled him in but couldn't make the pass. And the week before, he took down the big game hunter Jesse Kennedy to get to the front. Him and Jake Sheridan, he was able to get by for a thriller.
And what a great story that is. But Andrew Gressel has himself in a horrible spot here. Stuck behind the 1 at Caden Rye, and then he checked up. That's not going to help his laps at all. Josh Stoddy still holding down the best time. Not anymore. Danny Benedict to the top of the heap. Sean Chenoweth up to the 6th spot.
Pinsino's timed in 5th quick so far. Benedict. Now Pinsino to the top of the board. The 22P of Chase Pinsino goes P1.
By 1/1000th of a second faster than Danny Benedict. Josh Stoddy still in 3rd. Andrew Gressel will not be happy after that qualifying run. Got hung up behind Caden Rye and then checked up coming to the white flag, but he didn't have time to get back up to speed.
I feel for Andrew Gressel and all because it wasn't a great result, but I do look forward to watching him come from the back of the pack here at Sauble.
Do not disagree.
Of course, Gressel, the Sauble Beach Road Warrior, racing part-time on tour this year, but he is a former series champ. I believe he sits 3rd overall in career wins behind Brandon Watson and J.R. Fitzpatrick.
Next group coming out from Cambridge, the 97 is Blair Wickett. Said for the first time he put on sticker tires to practice with, said it was a huge help. Tyler DiVincenzo in the other 97, the Hutco-sponsored 97. He's for Guelph. Shea Gemmel in the APC Canusa number 3. Jake Sheridan in the Pride Seats 52.
And I know 0.3 of a second is a lot of time here at Sauble, Adam, but that's how far we are off the record right now. So we'll see what these guys can do. That set by Brandon Watson.
That's fairly cool conditions, which are conducive to good laps, but I'm not sure if we're going to see that here tonight. Wow, Shea Gemmel all sorts of loose off of turn number 4.
It came all the way back in 2017, so it stands for 6 years so far. Gemmel out of turn 4 to the stripe. They struggled with that car. It was not good off the trailer here this evening. They threw everything but the kitchen sink at it.
So it's showing as Connor Pritico, but I believe that's Jake Sheridan in the 5th spot. Definitely Jake Sheridan. Now he's up to 4th as the white flag is displayed. Blair Wickett with the 6th quickest time. Tyler DiVincenzo has yet to find his way into the top 10. Checkered flag gonna fly for Blair Wickett. Can he crack the top 10? Yes, 6th quick in the 97. Tyler DiVincenzo comes through 10th quick. Shea Gemmel jumps to 5th. Jake Sheridan 3rd. With one group remaining, remember, with the handicap system that the APC series runs, you just want to get into the top 10 and then the rule book takes care of the rest.
So essentially what happens is we'll flip the top 10 in a scramble, basically, and the drivers who are higher up in the point standings will start further back in the top 10. If the whole top 10's got perfect attendance, the point leader will start 10th, essentially. And then obviously if you do not run all the events, you filter into the back part of that top 10.
Tom Gibbons in the number 10, Kyle Steckley in the 22, the 78 is Joe Lawrence, the 84 is J.R. Fitzpatrick. Gibbons from nearby Southampton, Kyle Steckley from Milverton.
Of course, Gibbons has 2 motors out there right now. The one in the 10 machine as well as the one in Joe Lawrence's 78.
He was quick to reach out to Joe Lawrence after Lawrence blew up here last month and said, hey, I've got an engine on the shelf down here. Come and get it. It's yours to use.
And, of course, Joe Lawrence, last time out in the Stewart's Kubota 100 at Sunset Speedway, was victorious with said motor. He had a decent run. Top 10 finish last night in the Bone Stock at Delaware as well.
Kyle Steckley up to 7th, puts Sean Chenoweth on the bubble. We await for the rest of these drivers to jump up into the top 10. Haven't seen Tom Gibbons yet. New fast time, it's Kyle Steckley with a 14.286.
Gibbons now bounces up into the top 10.
Joe Lawrence up to P4. Corey Luciano is on the bubble, and now he's gone. J.R. Fitzpatrick up to P4.
Cole Quinton now on the bubble. I think he's safe if I...
Nope, he wasn't. He was on the bubble. He was not safe. Tom Gibbons knocked him off. Fast time goes to Kyle Steckley with a 14.256. Joe Lawrence in the 78 times second quick. Chase Pinsino third. Danny Benedict fourth. And J.R. Fitzpatrick fifth.
Jake Sheridan comes home 6th. Josh Stoddy qualifies 7th. 8th is Tom Gibbons. 9th, Shea Gemmel. And rounding out the top 10, the polar Blair Wickett.
10th is as good as first in APC qualifying, unless you're going to get the Epic Raceware Fast Time Award.
Cole Quinton comes home 11th. Corey Luciano 12th. Chenoweth 13th. 14th is DiVincenzo. Then 15th, Eric Della Riva.
Rounding out the field is Caden Rye in the 1W, the 81 of Andrew Kressel, and the 4 of Zach Sprung. Let's take a quick break here on G-Force TV. Coming up, it is feature time from Sauble Speedway.
When your dream car becomes a nightmare, leaving you frustrated, stranded, and broke, you say,
Goodbye, you piece of Let's take it to TKC.
What? You gotta pee?
TKC!
Let's take this piece of to TKC Metal Recycling. They pay cash for scrap cars.
Yahoo!
TKC will recycle your piece of car. Got a piece of car? Visit TKC Metal Recycling, 20 Cushman Road, St. Catharines.
Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet. Our savory pasticides can be prepared any way you like. Serve warm or chilled, as a main or as a side. Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet. Create your way to great taste.
Early man discovered fire, but Quick Quick perfected fire. Quick Quick is the only fire starter that guarantees to start your campfire, wood stove, or fireplace without the need for kindling or paper. Find your nearest Quick Quick retailer at quickquick.com.
Rev up your engines and get ready for some high-octane action. GeForce TV is your one-stop destination for all the best racing action across Ontario. With free live coverage of the APC Series, Bushwick and Speedway, Southern Ontario Sprints, and much more. You won't miss a single moment of the excitement. Whether you're a die-hard fan or a casual viewer, GeForce TV has everything you need to stay up to date on the latest racing news and events. Head to our website at geforcetv.net and start watching today. The APC Series on GeForce TV is brought to you by Tiffany Gate. Indulge in a world of fresh meals, sides, salads, and more.
Welcome back to Sauble Speedway. Let's go down to Clinton Jeffrey, who's caught up with our fast timer, the Epic Racewear Pole Qualifier.
Well, Kyle, we pick you up here as the Epic Racewear Fast Time Award winner again. Always a good deal when you can start your night out at the beach here with the best time to start the day.
Yeah, we definitely have a really fast APC Auto Parts, Stewart's Equipment, Pennzoil 22 here tonight. I love this place. It's a ton of fun racing around Sauble Speedway, so my crews gave me a great car today, and hopefully we can keep it up front.
Kyle, you points racing, you're going for the wins?
There's a points race. I'm going for the win tonight, and we're going to have some fun, but that'll definitely be in the back of my mind.
There you have it, guys. Kyle Steckley, our Epic Racewear Fast Time Award winner here at the beach.
So it's time to go racing in the combined fours. On the pole is going to be the 08 of Pat Farrow. Scheduled to start second on my sheet is the 07 of Michael Kenny. Where's the 07, Jamie?
We have lost the 07.
Third, the 02 of Mike Brown. Fourth, it's the 7 of Layla Walser.
Got the 10 of Will Gibbons and the 22 P of Miss Penny.
In the 73, it's Scott Schluter, and the 81 is John Costance.
The 83 is Josh Clark, and the 88 Ryder White.
91 of Sandy Eccles, the 36 of Daphne Sullivan.
And the 14, Glenn Schmidt at the back of the pack. That's a little Mazda, if I'm not mistaken. It sure is in that 14, a little zoom zoom.
Did you really just say that out loud?
I did.
That's awesome.
Those used to be the greatest commercials.
Speaking of Mazdas, did you hear the Miatas were actually testing at Martinsville?
I saw Dale Jr. out there. That just shows that iRacing, simulated racing, has a big effect on the real racing world.
I just think Junior has a big effect on the real racing world, and I'll tell you, I didn't listen to his podcast until Rick Verburn turned me on to it, and we were on our way from Martinsville, listening to a couple episodes on the way home, and I'll tell you what, I just like the way he sees racing. He sees it everywhere, he sees it from all different sides, and he can take that situation that somebody says, well, this is the right way to do it, and okay, well, it might be, but this is why that might not work, So always some good thoughts from Junior on the motorsports industry, and I just find him entertaining as heck.
I've heard it's great. In general, I don't listen to podcasts. I host them.
I watch
I
watch the 10, 12-minute highlights on the YouTube channel.
I probably should. I'd be more sophisticated if I did. It's the way things are.
And his co-host, I think his name is Mike. I don't. He's got something to do with Junior JR Motorsports. I'm just not sure, but he's entertaining as well, and they get great guests on there. The interview with Fatback McSwain was epic. I like those. I like the old time cheating stuff. I just find it so interesting that even the guy who qualified 35th in the 80s was running nitrous, because if he didn't, he wasn't getting in the show.
And you've got to remember, there was a time when they were racing for rent money.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You weren't locked in. If you're a race car driver, you weren't locked into being a millionaire.
No.
You had to go out and win.
There was no charter.
No.
The TV money wasn't guaranteed. It was almost back to this level right here, Adam. There's your segue.
Figure it out and go fast. That's what we've got here. Go fast, but don't go too fast, because if you break out, you're going to get black flagged. White flag being displayed. We have lost Michael Kenny in the 07, unfortunately, so we're one car down, but we're about to go green. The pace truck peels off the track. And the field is in the control of Pat Farrow behind the wheel of the 08.
So 17.5 is our breakout time, Adam.
17.5. We'll see who's going to dance with the devil out there. The devil being the stopwatch, with a transponder line, if you will. As they work down through 3 and 4, Pat Farrow leading the way on the inside, but on the outside, Mike Brown in the 02 is right there as well. On that get up to speed lap, they were all right around 17.9. So who is going to pick up half a second and get themselves put in the naughty box?
We'll go 17.7 the next time by a whole bunch of them at 17.7.
Ryder White in the 88 seemed real slow off of turn 4. He is back up to speed. The field works down the front straightaway with Pat Farrow in a 17.6 leading the way.
10 of Will Gibbons working on the bottom there for second.
I got to tell you, 17.605, you see more of these races than I do, Jamie, but how close can you, if you're a race car driver, come to that line without going over, but do it on purpose?
I have still not figured out how these guys do it. Do you set your car up that, if you're driving the wheels off and it's going right on the speed, or do you set it up so you got some wiggle room?
Will Gibbons just broke out a 17.456.
Now, he's got to give up 3 spots, but where's he going to go? Problem is he doesn't want to get, you can't just lift and get run over. Right now, on the flip side, I'm sure the 7 knows that the 10's got a penalty. All these drivers are supposed to be running the race Caesar.
Yeah, I'm not sure how long you can go like that. So they're doing it old school with a black flag and a white stripe. There's Nathan. Thank you, Nathan.
And the problem is the longer it takes for you to do it, the less laps left to get back out of that hole.
No, you're absolutely right. As the flagman frantically giving direction to the competition to get around Will Gibbons, and Gibbons, as you said, you've got to let them go so you can get back past them. Everybody flirting with the 17.6. They're all around 17.5, but the only one to go faster has been Will Gibbons in that number 10. Halfway through, 10 laps in, 10 laps to go this time. Will Gibbons still leading.
And even the heat race, they finished 2 by 2. That's the thing about this. The closeness of the finishes are pretty incredible. They're usually stacked one on top of each other. And they got to work around Miss Penny down in turn 1. The most cordial bone stock driver in the province.
And they've now backed down. They're running 17.8s and 17.9s. Finally, Matt Bray has stopped waving the black flag at Will Gibbons. But it looks like he's picked it back up again.
And that's the disqualified flag that they're showing.
No, that's the same one that they've been waving.
Okay.
The black flag with a white stripe in it. We'll let the officials sort that out, though. As the laps wind down, it's a 20-lap race, and they've completed 14 laps, just 6 laps to go. And the race director just came on the radio to say the 02 is the race leader.
That's Mike Brown showing the way.
And Mike Brown with a 17.75, so quarter of a second off that breakout time. Kind of a safe place to be as he leads the way.
Well, his fast times is 17.550, so he has been flirting with it.
They all are. As wow, Layla in that 7 machine getting all but run over, and then she did get run over by the 08 of Pat Farrow off of turn number 2. That will bring out a yellow, and this might be the break of the race for Will Gibbons.
Well, it depends on how many laps he has to obey the penalty.
Not sure if they're going to send him to the pits or if they're just going to put him back a spot or two. But if the race stayed green and he won, he wasn't the race winner.
No.
So at least this way, there's a chance.
So the 7 pulling up beside the 08.
Layla Walser, as we take a look at this replay, and Pat Farrow just up on the back bumper and stayed on that back bumper.
Now I don't know if you can go back to them into turn 1 half a lap before that, because I believe the 7 might have crowded the 08 and almost put the 08 in the fence here on the front stretch.
Well, that sometimes happens. So they're going to put the 08 of Pat Farrow to the tail for his involvement in that yellow flag. The 10 of Will Gibbons, how far back is he going?
There's the 08 serving the penalty.
And the 10 of Will Gibbons looks like he's going all the way to the back as well. Now Gibbons moving back up. Now they're saying over the one-way radio, the 10 should be behind the 08 at the tail of the field. It's funny, they put these drivers to the back, and then one by one they're driving their way back to the front. Layla's got halfway back to the front.
Act like you're supposed to be there, right?
That's right.
If you're not in the right spot, don't worry, they'll put you back.
So it looks like the 08 should be behind the 7. Farrow should be behind the 7 of Layla Walser. And then it should be the 10 of Will Gibbons.
I believe you got the 22 and the 83 a lap down.
John Carley, the GM here at the Speedway, directing some traffic.
So they put the trunk back on the 22. They took it off when they got here tonight to try to take some weight out of the car, just because they were having a tough time getting out of the minimum time.
And you brought up a great point earlier. Do you set up your car so you got to drive it as hard as you can to get to the speed, or do you leave yourself? Do you have a 17-second car and drive it cautiously? So Will Gibbons is going to be loaded for bear.
The telltale of this was at Delaware about halfway through the year last year. We threw out a whole bunch of money for the V8 stock race. And everybody who had a V8 stock said, piece of cake, I'm going to go in there. It's just going to be like stealing candy. You know who ran up front that night?
Who?
The guys who had been racing out 5 or 6 times earlier on that year in the same class. The guys that were making their first start had no clue what they were getting into. It was just
it makes sense.
It makes interesting.
Makes sense. It's something you would have to practice for sure. White flag out. There's going to be 5 laps remaining in this one. Up front, it's the 02 of Mike Brown and the 73 of Scott Schluter. Haven't talked a whole lot about Schluter so far, so let's see who can get this done in 5 laps. I have a feeling we're going to see some 3-wide racing.
Will Gibbons to the inside. He wasted no time driving that 10 to the bottom. Just bounced off the 91 machine of Eccles.
So you would think on a green flag lap you could go as hard as you want and not make that 17.5, although Will Gibbons turned to 17.7.
That's one thing we've noticed at Delaware is the guys who bring the late models out, they seem to be able to get that jump that first lap while everybody's getting up to speed. Now, here comes Gibbons to the inside for second. Meanwhile, the 7 of Layla Walser also sneaking through.
Gibbons broke out again with a 17.3 that time, so tough break for Gibbons. He might get out there and win this race, but he broke out. Whoa! Little contact there with Mike Brown, the race leader, and Brown broke out by 5 1/1000ths of a second.
The kicker about that, he didn't have to.
Scott Schluter in the 73, I believe that is your unofficial race leader.
Layla Walser now back up to second in the OE Pat Farrow. Those two were monkeying around on the backstretch there a couple laps ago, and now they could be both looking at the podium finish.
Checkered flag going to fly. Will Gibbons going to cross first. He's not getting it. Mike Brown going to cross second. He's being shown the checkered, so I wonder if there's a rule that if you're pushed across the line, the breakout time doesn't matter.
Oh, never had this one before.
Would you like to go ask the, because he broke lap 18 for Mike Brown was a 17.495. So I believe that's what Scott Schluter, and I think I overheard the officials, I actually wondered this, saying it's hard to penalize someone for getting pushed across the line.
Now on the flip side, the 10 was on borrowed time to begin with. Like, he was lucky to still be out there.
And we have a look, and here's what we're looking at.
Especially when you're being pushed across the line by a car that should be serving a penalty at the time.
No, and that's true. So I've got to respect that decision if that's a decision. And
this might just want to be one of those precedent-setting deals.
Well, Scott Schluter is the winner after they sorted out the breakout times here in the 73. And we'll get him out here for a quick word. So here he comes, ladies and gentlemen. How about that big victory lane welcome for Scott Schluter, the driver of the 73, gets it done here. Scott, congrats on the run here. You know, these combined races are fun. Talk about your run here tonight.
Yeah, we just try to stay consistent. It's awfully hard, but we seem to go out for practice, get as many laps in as we can, and it works out for us.
Right on, you got it done. Congrats.
Thank you.
Scott Schluter, ladies and gentlemen, car 73 here. He will be our winner of the combined fours, guys. And that'll wrap things up here trackside. We'll be right back live here on G-Force TV. Still a couple of features to come tonight, including the Stewart's 100. We'll be right back.
Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet. Our savory potato sides can be prepared any way you like. Serve warm or chilled, as a main or as a side. Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet. Create your way to great taste.
Get ready to experience the NASCAR Pinty Series Power Hour. Join your host and wingman, Cam K, every Monday night at 7 p.m. on GeForce TV for an hour of non-stop excitement and in-depth analysis of the hottest racing series around. From the latest race highlights to expert analysis and insider commentary, you'll get an exclusive look at everything you need to know about the NASCAR Pinty Series. Tune in for the NASCAR Pinty Series Power Hour, the ultimate destination for race fans everywhere. The APC series on GeForce TV is brought to you by Pinty's, making great food fun, and by Quick, the world's best fire starter.
Welcome back to Sauble Speedway. Beautiful place to be on a Saturday night. It's time to go racing with the United Eights. Their breakout time, Jamie Modsey, is 15.7 seconds.
Definitely see a hot rod out there, the 71. Good looking car, Doug Wilson.
Here's how they're scheduled to roll off. On the pole, it's the 8 of Jason Parker. They are not in the order that they are on this sheet.
It's like the 57 Austin Finley will roll second.
Third in line, love the look of that race car. The 77 of Jake Zevenbergen.
You got the 11, Matt Johnstone.
And behind Matt is the 18. The 18 is Nick Hamill. 71 is Doug Wilson.
The 62 out there, that's Darren Wright.
And the 68 is Taylor Nelson. That's the cast of characters.
Darren used to race a cast car sportsman back in the day at Delaware Speedway.
No kidding.
Haven't seen that name in years, but same number. It's got to be him.
Got to be.
It's just got to be.
15.7 is the breakout time. They do not want to break. The variety of cars out there on the racetrack is pretty darn cool to see.
But again, we saw this with the program at Delaware when we started it a couple years ago. We used to have 5 V8 stocks. Now we've got 17 cars in the class. I mean, the guys that race in the class absolutely love it. It's a chance to come out, and it's become, we joke, it's become a senior tour for cars and drivers. You know, it's equipment that's all outdated, and in some cases, it's some drivers that are outdated but still want to play. You know,
absolutely. No, it's a great concept.
And I talked to a late model team this week, and he said, you know, we're half a second off the pace. We're racing for 10th. At least we can come out and have a shot to win. I said, you're all set.
Coming to the green flag, Jason Parker going to set the pace.
Parker, Quick winner last year at Peterborough Speedway in the APC Quick Tour. Good blast out in front with Zevenberg in second. Zevenberg just down the road in Allenford.
Work off turn number 4 to complete the first lap. They're a half a second from that breakout time, so as they come up to speed, now we'll see this time who's able to get the closest to that 15.7 without going under.
The first lap's always the easy one. Parking the 16 flat. Zevenberg into the 15s, a bunch of them into the 15s.
Parker under pressure from Zevenberg out there on that 77. And the Parker number 8, that car seems glued to the racetrack.
Johnston looking good in third in the 11 machine.
Johnston's got to be careful. He's close. He ran a 15.8, so just a tenth of a second off of the breakout there as he's trying to close in on those leaders. So he wants to get there, but not too close.
Finley in the 57 goes fourth with Hamill in fifth. With those drivers right around the 16 flat range. Parker doing just what he needs to do.
Austin Finley with a 15.744. So the top four, they seem to know what they're doing out there. They run nose to tail, a little bit of space between each of them, but they're all still in the mix.
And the other thing is with the variety of cars, what also comes down is a variety of where each of them are faster. You know, you have a situation, you might have a late model that's just like lightning down the straightaway or through the corner, for example, but one of those hot rods might have something a little deeper under the hood who can catch him down the straightaways.
Jason Parker just looks like he knows what he's doing out there.
I think he knew what he was doing before there was ever a breakout rule put into place. I mean, he's definitely one of the top drivers over the past few years here at Sauble. Again, won that quick race at Peterborough last year and just banging off the 15.7s now.
Slowed down a little bit that time, speeding up with Zevenberger and Johnston. We got a little bit of ground to make up there on the race leader.
And the problem is with the breakout, even that lead of 3 car lengths is almost an eternity. I mean, you eat up one of those car lengths, that could be the half a tenth to put you into the breakout.
Well, Parker's given them the opportunity. He's running 0.3 of a second off of that breakout time, so that's a lot of leeway for drivers to try to close in. That's what Matt Johnston's trying to do right now.
How about Johnson? He's got the 11 of Zedberger pushed up off the inside. Here comes the 57 as well. Finley trying to take advantage. And they've got Zevenberger in the wrong spot.
Zevenberger's dropped back to that 4th spot. Jason Parker with about a 6 car length advantage over the 11 of Matt Johnston. Halfway through, 13 laps down, 12 laps to go.
You see the 11 of Matt Johnston.
That's where he's got to be. 15.748. He just picked up 0.2 of a second. 0.3, in fact, on the race leader. So wants to go that fast, but no faster.
Half a tenth. That's flirting with disaster right there.
But he can see him. There's the gap. He's got to maintain that gap and maybe close in a car length a lap, and he'd be golden as Parker comes off of turn number 4. 7.36. He had 36 thousandths of a second to spare there.
Picked up 10th though. And just to let you know what it looks like, this is half a car length or half a second between first and second. So half a second, about 3-4 car lengths.
And it looks like Matt Johnston is pushing that car, like he's lost a little bit of speed some laps. So he's closing in, but not close enough. Oh, he broke out. And Jason Parker nearly broke out.
And now Parker just has to keep that gap between him and the 57 of Austin Finley. Tough break for Matt Johnston.
Penalty served for Johnson. He can get back up to speed. And now look how Austin Finley is closed in.
He just broke out too, though. That's why he closed in. And now he's got to give up 3 spots. And look how much track position that is.
Yeah, you just about need to stop. Jason Parker out in front in the last 5 laps with 4 to go when he crosses the stripe this time. Look at that gaggle of traffic further back. Nick Hamill in the 18 battling with Zevenberger. Matt Johnston trying to get back into the top 3 cars.
believe the 57 still got to let some guys go by. He just ran a 15.5 anyways.
I think he's decided his race is over. He just wants to go mess with the leader. But can he mess with the leader to the point where Parker breaks out?
Yeah, Parker's got lap cars to deal with.
15.786 that time for Jason Parker. Comes up off the bottom of the racetrack.
See, it's on the one-way, so Parker's got to know what's going on.
Racers are racers, though.
White flag in the air.
15.985. That was a pretty careful lap for Jason Parker, being chased down the backstretch by Austin Findlay.
Findlay gets him jacked up in 3 and 4. Pushes him up the speedway. Findlay's the first car to the line, but yeah.
I don't know if he just wanted to rattle his cage, if he wanted to cross the line first. I'm not sure what the play was there, but Jason Parker.
Batteries went dead in the receiver. Could be a million things.
You know, Parker raced him back to the line and about halfway down the straightaway just hit the brakes like, I can't get suckered into this. I got this one.
And he did. Batteries must have been dead in the receiver.
Yeah, but I'm sure it felt good to pass the leader and take the checkered flag.
Yeah. Feels better when you get the picture taken after, though. Dave Franks is slapping the sticker on the car.
That makes it almost official. Let's have a look at this replay with Findlay closing in on Jason Parker. Gets up on his back bumper at the exit of turn 2, but watch him down into 3 and 4. Really gets him jacked up. Clinton Jeffrey, take it away down in Victory Lane.
Thanks, guys. Jason Parker getting his Hans device off. He will drop the window net and climb out and talk to us here in just a moment's time. There goes the window net. He'll get the checkered flag. Dave Franks has already slapped the feature winner sticker on it. And here he comes, ladies and gentlemen. How big? Sauble Beach, welcome for Jason Parker. Jason, let's talk about your drive. You know, these breakouts can make things interesting. You know, at the end of the day, it's a different type of racing, but, you know, he was trying to sucker you in there, and he almost got you to break out in the last little bit messing around.
Yeah, it's a different strategy doing this. It's not everyone agrees with it, but, you know, we're trying to get a class going here at Sauble, so, you know, it's a different strategy, like I said. So we've got it pretty much figured out. So when he got me there in the last lap and got inside of me, I thought, man, I don't know what's going on here because we're running pretty good laps. So it's a little cat and mouse here at the checkered flag, and you know, he's a good kid. He deserves a win, but he went a little too fast, and that's the #1 rule in this series.
Did you hear the penalties being given on the one-way? So did you know that he was getting one?
Not until after the race was over. The guys came on and said he went too fast. So, like I said, not the ending we wanted there, but like you said, he was trying to fish me in there, and your instinct is to battle hard there. And if I had stayed in it all the way down the back or all the way down the front here, we probably would have went too fast too.
We were remarking about you saw you catch the brakes. Jason Parker gets it done in the United 8s here, guys. That'll do things from trackside, and we'll be right back live here on G-Force TV from Sauble Speedway.
Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet. Our savory potato sides can be prepared any way you like. Serve warm or chilled, as a main or as a side. Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet. Create your way to great taste.
Get ready to experience the NASCAR Pinty Series Power Hour. Join your host and wingman Cam K every Monday night at 7 p.m. on GeForce TV for an hour of non-stop excitement and in-depth analysis of the hottest racing series around. From the latest race highlights to expert analysis and insider commentary, you'll get an exclusive look at everything you need to know about the NASCAR Pinty Series. Tune in for the NASCAR Pinty Series Power Hour, the ultimate destination for race fans everywhere.
You're so tasty. Drive me crazy. Ain't nothing I can do.
The APC Series on GeForce TV is brought to you by Mighty Wipes, the strongest wipe around. And by NTN, delivering the ultimate bearing experience.
Welcome back to Sauble Speedway. It is almost time to go racing in the APC Series. Set for all sorts of fun where the officials have come into the announcer's booth to set us straight. That's why there should be locks on the door. You keep those important people in their room. 100 laps is the distance. We're looking at Cole Quinton and that Spira-sponsored team push their car down to getting ready for the pre-race grid. And we are almost there, almost to the end of the season. There's 2 races left, and Jake Sheridan mentioned it in his interview earlier today that really it's going to come down to Delaware Speedway. What today's going to do is show whether you have the upper hand, a fighting chance, or a snowball's chance, Jamie.
And, of course, Joe Lawrence, he just said flat out, we just got to come out and win 2 races. I mean, that would take care of itself, wouldn't it?
It would. Wins will do it. So what we were talking about with race officials was what we had as results as we were calling qualifying was not only not official, it was not correct. We had Blair Wickett in the top 10. He's going to start 11th. We've got some interesting cars at the front. Chase Pinsino, even though he doesn't have perfect attendance with the series, Junior Farley in the 72, you can see that burn work where the tail end of that car loaded back onto the trailer. So Chase Pinsino is racing for points for Junior Farley, so he gets the benefit of Junior Farley's handicap. So he'll start tonight at the front of the field. So all that and more coming right up. Let's have a look at our upcoming events calendars. Coming up at Sauble Speedway next weekend, September 2nd and 3rd, the Ontario Sportsman Series up here on the 2nd with the Ontario Super Late Models, Pro Late Models, United 8s, and Combined 4s. And then on September 3rd, the United 8s are going to run for 75 laps. The Combined 4s are going to run for 50 laps. And you'll also see the Junior Late Models and the INEX Legends.
Great way to close off the season here at Sauble Speedway. And, of course, on G-Force, September 2nd, the Action Sprint Tour in Southern Ontario Sprints from Brighton Speedway. And then September 3rd, Action Tour and the Southern Ontario Sprints. Again, that doubleheader at Brighton Speedway. And then, of course, the big one at Schweigen for the year, the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals, September 16th. So still lots of good racing left to go this summer. Of course, G-Force will also be at Delaware Speedway. Great Canadian weekend.
And as much as I love these race weekends, I'm not ready. I'm not ready for September.
Goes by too quick, doesn't it?
I'd like to do a do-over of July repeatedly. But we don't always get what we want. But a driver who's overcome a lot of things here this afternoon is from nearby Chesley, Ontario. And Clinton Jeffrey had a chance to talk with him earlier on.
Josh, we see you're having a rough day. You've just been up and down pit road looking for parts. What are you looking for?
Yeah, so we went out for first practice. Car felt really good, was really happy, and then all of a sudden I just had a puff of smoke, and the right rear trailing arm bolts sheared completely off, and then shoved the drive shaft ahead to the transmission. So took the rear seal out of the tranny, and now we got to fix the right rear trailing arm bracket. So just a freak mechanical thing that you can't really control, but huge props to Shea and the number 3 team. They're helping me out huge with some bolts, and same with Taylor Holdaway, helped me with some hardware too. So really appreciate this racing's like community. These guys are great when stuff goes wrong.
Get back to it, Josh. Josh has a busy day, guys, as you can imagine. The car not operating the way they want. They have just been up and down this entire pit road asking everybody for the seals. Looks like they found it. Hopefully they can get this one back together.
They had a scramble going on there.
The racing community is a funny thing. You know, they really want to beat each other. They come to the track. They keep secrets. They don't let people know what's going on. But when you're down and out, they help you. They help you get on the racetrack because that's where they want to beat you.
Yeah. There you see the field working back out onto the Speedway. There's the Canadian Flat Roof Systems machine of Josh Stoddy. Now, do we have a shot of Gressel down there in the 81?
Josh, what's the story? We just ran the interview from earlier. Did you get it all repaired, and how do you feel?
Yeah. It was quite it was 4 or 5 hours
wrenching with all the boys, and it was literally down to the second just to make tech for qualifying. So kind of sucks that you can't get the thing set up for practice. I don't think the nose is where I want it, but you know, all in all, no practice, come out 7th. I was a little frustrated. I probably wasn't driving the best there for qualifying, so it is what it is. And thanks to the 84, lent me a transmission, a drive shaft. Hopefully we can pass them and win it. It'd be even funnier.
There you have it, Josh Stoddy, guys. It's been a long day for them. They've been working hard, but they want to thank Benedict and a lot of these other teams out here who helped them get the stuff to get it done tonight.
Here you see Tom Gibbons rolling out onto the Speedway in that 10 machine.
So there's some unfinished business from last time out here at this racetrack. So a lot of drivers looking to make up for lost opportunities.
The Speedy Drive 500, I believe it goes down in history as. There was a lot of it spread that night.
You're not wrong.
And, of course, I believe we ended up with one car on another car's hood down in turn 1. There you see Danny Benedict rolling that No Country property maintenance machine out here. Danny, one of our season opener at Sunset Speedway. 84 of J.R. Fitzpatrick now rolling out as well. And there comes Josh Stoddy.
Beautiful looking race cars. I mean, these cars show up well prepared, ready to race. Another driver we're going to see a lot of tonight. He's starting up at the front. Jamie Maudsley had the opportunity to talk to him earlier today.
We're with Bell River's Chase Pinsino. Second place finish last night at Delaware Speedway in the late models, and a winner a week ago in the big 75 lapper. And you're here at Sauble tonight. Tell us about getting around this place.
It's a lot different than Delaware. Definitely a lot tighter, a tight little track. I enjoy it. I like driving here. Still figuring it out. Haven't been here very often. This is my second time being here for a race, so I'm excited to see how it goes.
Obviously, you drove super stocks before you've moved up to the pro late model. That's a big jump racing at Delaware, but man, coming on tour, a whole bunch more tougher competition. Tell us about jumping into this Shark Tank.
You can definitely tell these guys have been doing it for a really long time. I've learned a lot in the few races I've done, and it's definitely a lot different than the super stock, a lot more precise.
How big of a bonus has it been racing with guys like Connor Pritico and Jake Sheridan and Jesse Kennedy, running those guys hard on Friday nights to get you ready for this?
It's definitely helped. Delaware does a great weekly show every week. Definitely helps me get prepared for these APC drivers.
Chase Pinsino, driver of the 22, getting all set for tonight's action here at Sauble Speedway.
Hey, real quick, I just was hoping we could dedicate this broadcast. I lost my cousin last night. I know we talked about it earlier today. I'd like to thank everybody in the racing community for reaching out. Cousin Billy used to go to a lot of races with me over the years. He was a big Jimmy Vassar fan, a big Bobby Labonte fan, and a huge Don Thompson Jr. fan. And I got the note last night at Delaware while we were racing that he had passed away. And I'd like to appreciate all the support and dedicate this broadcast to him. And with that, we'll throw it to another break.
Early man discovered fire, but Quick Quick perfected fire. Quick Quick is the only fire starter that guarantees to start your campfire, wood stove, or fireplace without the need for kindling or paper. Find your nearest Quick Quick retailer at quickquick.com.
Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet. Our savory pasticides can be prepared any way you like. Serve warm or chilled, as a main or as a side. Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet. Create your way to great taste.
When your dream car becomes a nightmare, leaving you frustrated, stranded, and broke, you say,
Goodbye, you piece of Let's take it to TKC.
What? You gotta pee?
TKC!
Let's take this piece of to TKC Metal Recycling. They pay cash for scrap cars.
TKC will recycle your piece of car. Got a piece of car? Visit TKC Metal Recycling, 20 Cushman Road, St. Catharines.
Rev up your engines and get ready for some high-octane action. GeForce TV is your one-stop destination for all the best racing action across Ontario. With free live coverage of the APC Series, Bushwick and Speedway, Southern Ontario Sprints, and much more. You won't miss a single moment of the excitement. Whether you're a die-hard fan or a casual viewer, GeForce TV has everything you need to stay up to date on the latest racing news and events. Head to our website at geforcetv.net and start watching today.
You're so tasty. Drive me crazy. Ain't nothing I can do.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV.
Welcome back to Sauble Speedway. The cars are staged on the front straightaway, and race fans, it is time to meet the starting lineup for tonight. Stewart's 100 presented by Kubota. Starting 18th from Owen Sound, the Longs Automotive, Bear Wheel and Brake Service, Bruce Service Sales and Rentals, number 4, Zachary Sprung. 17th from Allenford, the Sauble Falls Tent and Trailer Park, Stewart's Equipment, number 81, Andrew Gressel.
Rolling 16th on the grid in the 1W from Shallow Lake, that's Caden Wright. And on the inside of row 8 from Guelph, Ontario, and the Hutco Electrical Supplies, Bremner Construction, MRC Wireless Entry, it's Tyler DiVincenzo.
14th from Drumbo, the London Recreational Racing, Route 19 Auto Parts 2 Speed Motorsports, number 89C, Sean Chenoweth. Starting 13th from Dundas, the SDR Seating, AJ&J Furniture, Stage It With Style, number 74, Eric Della Riva.
On the outside of row 6, he drives the Just Foam at Spire Fire Protection, Stage It With Style, number 18. From Orangeville, Ontario, it's Cole Quinton. Coming off 3 straight 6th-place finishes in the Polar Blair Motorsports. Reimard Mini Storage, Shaw Motorsports 97 from Cambridge. It's the Polar Blair Wicket.
Now, race fans, your top 10. Starting 10th from Milverton, the Pennzoil APC Auto Parts Center's number 22, Kyle Steckley. And rolling off 9th from Mount Bridges, the Pride Seeds Reynolds Trucking Service by Vibrant Farms, Cameron Crane, number 52, Jake Sheridan.
On the outside of row 4, from London, Ontario, the Great Lakes Concrete, Captain Chris, Mom's APC, Paragon Office Installation, 78, it's Joe Lawrence. And on the inside of row 4, he drives the Ridgeline, APC Farrier Contracting, Canada Flat Roof System 17 from Chesley, Ontario. Primetime Josh Stoddy.
Starting 6th from Cambridge, the Cambridge Rigging Transaxle H2Go Mobile Wash All Automotive number 84, J.R. Fitzpatrick. Rolling off 5th from Orono, the North Country Property Maintenance B&W Enterprises number 54, Danny Benedict.
That brings us to the outside of row 2. Won his first career race at Sauble here back in 2019. He drives the APC Auto Parts, Canusa Automotive Warehousing, Miami Muscle number 3 from Dorchester, Shea Gemmel. Sitting in the top 10 in points coming in tonight, driving the Tom Gibbons Concrete Finishing, Graham Family Car Quest, Faust Construction number 10 from Southampton, it's Tom Gibbons.
To the front row we go on the outside of row 1 from Bell River, the FCF Custom Fab, Rosati Construction, Integrity Tool and Mold number 22, Chase Pinsino. And rolling off from the pole position, from Pickering, the Real Landscaping Plus, Langeal Metal Recycling, number 94, Corey Luciano. Race fans, that is your starting lineup for tonight's Stewart's 100 presented by Kubota. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, it'll be time for the most famous words in motorsport.
Early man discovered fire, but Quick perfected fire. Quick is the only fire starter that guarantees to start your campfire, wood stove, or fireplace without the need for kindling or paper. Find your nearest Quick retailer at quickquick.com.
You're so tasty. Drive me crazy. Crazy. Ain't nothing I can do.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV. Rev up your engines and get ready for some high-octane action. GeForce TV is your one-stop destination for all the best racing action across Ontario. With free live coverage of the APC Series, Bushwick Speedway, Southern Ontario Sprints, and much more. You won't miss a single moment of the excitement. Whether you're a diehard fan or a casual viewer, GeForce TV has everything you need to stay up to date on the latest racing news and events. Head to our website at GeForceTV.net and start watching today. Get ready to experience the NASCAR Pinty Series Power Hour. Join your host and wingman, Cam K, every Monday night at 7 p.m. on GeForce TV for an hour of non-stop excitement and in-depth analysis of the hottest racing series around. From the latest race highlights to expert analysis and insider commentary, you'll get an exclusive look at everything you need to know about the NASCAR Pinty Series. Tune in for the NASCAR Pinty Series Power Hour, the ultimate destination for race fans everywhere.
Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet. Our savory pasticides can be prepared any way you like. Serve warm or chilled, as a main or as a side. Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet. Create your way to great taste.
The APC Series on GeForce TV is brought to you by Tiffany Gate. Indulge in a world of fresh meals, sides, salads, and more.
Welcome back to Sauble Speedway. Drivers still buckling into these race cars, getting things strapped in and tight. It is soon ready to give that command. It's going to be a wild 100 laps. We talked about it in the opening. 3 drivers still very tight in the point standings. Kyle Steckley is leading the way by just 1 point over Jake Sheridan, by 4 points over Joe Lawrence in the 78. Josh Stoddy and J.R. Fitzpatrick could still get themselves into the mix. So could Danny Benedict and Shea Gemmel, for that matter. There's a lot of drivers on the verge that if something significant happens here tonight,
those guys got to win 2 and get help is what basically has to happen.
But I'm saying there's going to be a lot of cars at Delaware.
Well, we were talking about this earlier tonight. I had a chance to talk to Kyle Steckley, and one of the questions I asked him were, normally you don't get any mulligans through an APC series. Like, you got to put together 9 good runs or you're not going to win a championship. That's just the way it's been. This year, everybody's had that one run. They've had that one mulligan, and the guys like Stoddy, who are just looking outside that top 3, they've all had that second mulligan. So that's what your top 3 have to avoid here tonight, and it will be for them to decide. But again, those 3 guys have a problem, which could happen. Somebody like a Stoddy or a J.R. Fitzpatrick rallies and wins 2 races in a row, it's back on.
No, you're absolutely right. Now for the moment we've waiting for, let's send it down trackside to Clinton Jeffrey.
All right, fans, are you ready to get this show on the road? Let's hear you make some noise. Nah, you can do better than that. Let's hear you make some noise at the beach. All right, help me now. 3, 2, 1. Drivers, start your engine.
The field roars to life on the front straightaway. We should mention, starting on the front row, young Chase Pincinot. And he's starting there because Junior Farley, driver of the Burn work, where PV Martin number 72 suffered mechanical failure in practice. So he's made an arrangement with Pincinot, and the 22 will be racing for points for Junior Farley, the driver of the 72. Farley is 11th in the point standings right now, just 1 point ahead of Eric Della Riva, 1 point ahead of Corey Luciano, and 8 points behind Tom Gibbons. So Junior Farley is really in an area where there could be a lot of moving and shaking going on.
Well, each one of those positions is going to generate a bigger check at the banquet, so that's what they're all looking at, that payout at the end of the year. And of course, we had race number 2 of the series within a series, the NTN Bearing Series here on the holiday weekend. Race number 3 will be that 50 or 200 lapper, at Delaware Speedway. Great Canadian weekend, and there's a lot of bonus money up for grabs from the folks at NTN on that. Totally separate points to get to Delaware, but I did have a look at those point standings, and you think this stuff is tight. I mean, that's a whole different story.
For sure it is. That'll be exciting to see wind down, but I'm excited for tonight. This is the closing out of the regular season of bullring tracks, right? You take Peterborough, Sunset, Sauble, Flamborough. They're kind of lumped into one group. We go to Delaware, that's a different kind of racing altogether.
And again, you got to always watch the 10 of Gibbons, the 17 of Stoddy, and the 81 of Andrew Gresslick. And we were talking about that in qualifying. He got up on somebody. It cost him on the clock. He had to lift and back off. Time wasn't as good as it possibly could have been for that 81, but it is going to be a treat watching him come from the back. You see Blair Wickett stopping on the backstretch, maybe readjusting that steering wheel inside the 97 machine.
That'll happen on these warm-up laps where the drivers try to get things situated the way they want and don't have enough time pulling out of the pits to see if your steering wheel is configured the way you want it, or when you get strapped in, if something doesn't get buckled down quite tight enough. Now's the time to make those fixes. Interesting front couple of rows, as it often is with these APC Series races. Corey Luciano in the 94, he has shown a lot of speed out there. He's cutting his teeth in pro late model racing, but that always comes with a price. You know, there's a learning curve and it can be steep.
He started up front last time out at Sunset. Fared pretty well through the early going, but then eventually that inexperience, I think, overwhelmed him. He got caught in the outside groove and they just freight trained him. That's the biggest thing tonight. And this is where, again, this is the track where the choose cone comes into effect. I think more than any place else that we go on the tour.
It definitely matters here for sure.
Sorry, let me lump Peterborough into that as well, but
race fans, get up on your feet, grab your hat, grab your programs, grab whatever's nearby and wave to these drivers. They're going to be waving back.
Big shout out to one of our Quick Wick super stock drivers. Just got a text from Carson Nagy. The Nagy clans went to Nashville this weekend, and they were watching G-Force though. It wasn't to a race. They just went to Nashville. I believe they said after they got down there, they checked to see if there was anything going on at the fairgrounds, and nada. But because that's what you do when you go out of town on vacation and you're not going to the racetrack, you see where you can go to the racetrack, right, Adam?
We definitely appreciate it. How old are the Nagy brothers?
I'm going to say Carson's. He's not legal. I would guess he's not legal to drink in the States.
That's why he's in the hotel watching G-Force tonight.
It's 19 at home. And Luciano and Chase Pinsino. Pinsino has been hot. Last couple weeks in Delaware, he has really dialed things up. We had a 70-lapper a few weeks ago. He went to victory lane there after a good duel with both Jake Sheridan and Jesse Kennedy. Kyle Steckley was also in the mix as well. And then Friday night, well, first of all, it was great to see Pat Friel, who's a longtime runner on the APC Tour, finally get his first late model career win on Friday night. But Pinsino moved to second, was 2.4 seconds behind Friel with 7 laps to go, and was right up underneath the spoiler when they took the checkered flag.
And I'm going to argue with you a little bit here. I don't think it's a matter of finally. It's supposed to be hard to win a late model race. So it should take years to do it.
Definitely. And he's been at it a while, but congratulations to that entire. It was the funniest thing of the whole night. He's out doing the interview in victory lane. Dad's celebrating, the crew's celebrating. Mom's taking tire temperatures because that's what she does.
Atta girl. Coming to the green flag, Corey Luciano going to lead the way. The Stewart's Equipment 100 presented by Kubota is about to get underway. They come up to speed out of turn 4.
How about the youngster Chase Pincinot, a couple rookies up front. Luciano on the bottom, Pincinot up top. It's going to be the 22 wheeling it on the outside. He can't quite clear Luciano going into 3.
Wow, Pincinot was so smooth coming up to speed off of turn 2. He's got him cleared, but not enough to close the door down into 1 and 2 this time. They'll race down the back straightaway still. No clear-cut leader out there. They remain side by side.
Luciano keeps piling in there deep on the bottom. Now it looks like Pincinot is going to clear. He will close the deal down in 1 and 2. And now Luciano's got his hands full. Here comes the 3 of Shea Gamble, who won his first career APC feature up here at the beach.
Shea Gamble with a good run into turn number 3 and off of 4. He'll draw alongside Luciano. Out in front, Chase Pincinot drawn away as Shea Gamble with a great power move. Now, Luciano can get single file until JR drove it deep down into 3 and 4.
Another guy who wants to make a statement here tonight, J.R. Fitzpatrick in that 84 machine. Again, a 2-time series champ, number 2 overall in career APC wins. Wants to close this year with a podium finish in the championship and is now picked off another spot up into 3rd.
Field sorts itself out. Tom Gibbons just came across the nose of the 17 of Josh Stoddy down into turn 1. They were able to avoid contact. Danny Benedict out of shape in turn 4. Field rumbles down the front stretch. Pincinot with the advantage. Still side by side are our points racers. Jake Sheridan in the 52, Kyle Steckley in the 22, and Joe Lawrence in the 78. Steckley with the advantage off of 2. He'll nose ahead of Lawrence down into turn 3. Lawrence will try to get in line. He'll be able to do so just ahead of Blair Wickett.
Meanwhile, Pincinot has set sail out front. You see Stoddy working over the 10 of Gibbons. There's your point leader, tucked right up underneath the rear deck lid of Jake Sheridan. Those top 3 contenders running 1, 2, 3 in order deep in the pack, and here's a battle for second now.
J.R. Fitzpatrick sends it deep into turn number 3 on Josh Stoddy. Able to get back to the throttle fairly quickly and keep that position. He'll drive it deep into 1 and 2. Shea Gamble is going to have to concede that spot.
2, 3, and 4 they'll work. Fitzpatrick closes the deal. Now he starts to walk away from Gamble. Luciano, hey, he's doing well sitting up there in 4th spot here, 10 laps in. Gonna have one tough customer coming is Josh Stoddy now to the inside of Tom Gibbons. Those 2 have done battle many times here at Sauble Speedway together. A couple of late model drivers from the nearby area racing through 1 and 2. 12 laps in the books, and it looks like Stoddy's going to have the advantage.
Stoddy was scored in the 5th position at the stripe by a couple of inches. Gibbons closes the door on Danny Benedict, and they'll continue to battle single file. The first side-by-side action is deep in the field as Andrew Gressel just went around Cole Quinton.
Field working off turn 4 down the front stretch. Here you see Jake Sheridan stacked up behind Danny Benedict, and he's got Kyle Steckley breathing down his neck against Steckley, the point leader coming into tonight. Sheridan, a former winner, picked up his first career win here at Sauble Beach a few years ago.
J.R. Fitzpatrick just a hair faster that lap than Chase Pincinot. Last time by, they ran identical lap times right down to the 1,000th of a second.
Pincinot doing a good job out front.
Blair Wickett, he checked up and I saw a huge fireball out the exhaust, and he comes to rest at the pit entrance. Does Blair Wickett, the driver of that 97, when he checked up down there, a huge fireball came out the exhaust and reflected against the wall down there.
Definitely not good for the Polar Blair, and he's been on a roll lately too, Adam. Last 3 races, all his finishes in the top 6.
You can't get much more consistent than that. So it looks like, and this is interesting, they're posting the 1 of Caden Wright And I believe, and that means they're giving the black flag to Caden Wright because there is no spotter in place. Every team must have a spotter that can communicate with race officials. Pass along vital information.
You watch how quick they get one in place now.
Right?
Guys, just monitoring some team radios here. Kyle Steckley been told to turn on his brake fans. Crew says, make sure you've got it on. We come back to green here. Your brakes are starting to light up orange. Steckley comes back and says, no problem. We'll make sure that happens, guys. So watching on that. Also, listen to Danny Benedict, crew. Tell him things are looking good. You're running well. But they are telling Steckley to put those fans on.
Cole Quinton heading down pit road in that 18 machine. I wonder if he thought the black flag was for him because he was right near the one of Caden Wright. We'll see if Wright heeds the black flag this time, and not yet. To my knowledge, Caden Wright ran junior late models up here, Full Throttle Motor Speedway, and I believe here at Sauble Speedway as well. But
I believe Dave said he's a second generation racer too, locally here.
From Shallow Lake. But the message is not getting delivered.
Well, speaking of messages getting delivered, the one spotter just reported into the official in the spotter stand, says he's on his way. So you called that, Jamie. They would get a spotter right quick, and he's reporting in right now. The other thing we're monitoring on the radio, Kyle Steckley once again told the crew, I want to know how many drivers go to the outside when the choose cone comes up. So we'll see how they take and deal with that information.
So we had Kyle Steckley on our weekly talk show, Clinton, and he talked about the responsibility of the choose falls entirely on the driver. So he will take conversation from the crew chief from the spotter.
Mr. Cohen has a new light. See that too?
I hope nobody heeds the flashing red and stops on the front stretch.
All right, here we go. Let's see what happens.
Jake Sheridan going to pick up some spots. I'm surprised how many drivers elected to go to the outside. So, any series where you run two-way radios, the driver at all times and the team have to be able to demonstrate that they have communication with their driver. And it's 100% a safety issue. They do a lot of communicating over the radios.
Remember the old days where the flagman used to have to go down on the front stretch and you're here, you're here, you're here. God, the one-way radios save so much time in short track racing.
It was hard to understand what the flag people were doing. And I was one of those drivers down there, and they're giving hand signals. And
I can't tell whether the guy wants me to drop back 3 spots or go grab him a cheeseburger when I'm done.
Drop back 3 spots and come back with the cheeseburger.
Win-win. So Pinsino, J.R. Fitzpatrick, Luciano rolling 3rd, Shea Gemmel 4th. Then you've got Josh Stoddy and Tom Gibbons, Jake Sheridan, Danny Benedict, Joe Lawrence and Kyle Steckley rounding out the top 10. And
Blair Wickett has not been able to make it back out onto the racetrack. I see some flashlights moving around down there near his pit area, but we're about to go back to green.
Who would have guessed that the top 3 in points here 15 laps in would still be running in the 4th and 5th row, though. This guy's got some work to do.
Chase Pinsino in the 22, riding alongside one of the best in the business in J.R. Fitzpatrick. Gets the advantage through 1 and 2. Fitzpatrick takes it deep into 3 and 4. JR with the advantage off of turn 4.
Fitzpatrick leads by half a car length at the line. Pinsino trying to hang tough on the bottom. The kid is digging. Not giving up to the wily veteran, the 2-time champ on the outside. Pinsino's there. A little contact through 3 and 4, but JR looks like he might be able to close the deal down here 1 and 2.
JR's driving that car super deep, then trying to get it settled down to point it down the next straightaway. Finally able to do it in Claire Pinsino. Remember, Chase Pinsino said this was his first visit to Sauble Speedway, so impressive he's been able to do so well up against the best of the business.
Pinsino third, Gemmel fourth. And how about Corey Luciano having an impressive run here early, hanging in that fourth spot. Tom Gibbons, early 17 of Stoddy have come calling out. Jake Sheridan getting busy now deep in the pack.
Sheridan alongside Danny Benedict. Joe Lawrence in the 78 alongside Kyle Steckley in the 22. He'll clear the 22. Steckley pulls down in line, and now can Joe Lawrence get up to the 52 before the 54? Danny Benedict is able to get back in line. No, he can't.
They run nose to tail out of 3 and 4. Benedict still keeping Lawrence and Steckley at bay. Steckley's going to dive it in deep. Wow, dove it in on the bottom. I don't believe there was any contact. Lawrence is going to let it have the spot, and it's like Lawrence is going to tuck in line and maybe return the favor.
He's trying to cross over Kyle Steckley. Couldn't quite do it there. He'll stay back in line further back. Josh Stoddy battling for the 5th spot on the inside of Tom Gibbons.
A couple local drivers cut their teeth here at Sauble Speedway. Stoddy on the bottom, Gibbons up top. They'll race through 1 and 2. Still door handle to door handle. Stoddy, 2 cars he's been racing this year. He's got the green one as well as this red and yellow one, sponsored by Canadian Flat Roof Systems, and he's going to close the deal on the 10 down into 1.
Joe Lawrence and Danny Benedict battling side by side as Jake Sheridan drives it deep into turn number 3, slides up the track just a little bit. At the stripe, it's Sheridan by a foot over Tom Gibbons.
Every driver that started in the top 10 still running in the top 10, but look just outside of that top 10. A couple of Chargers coming. The 89C of Chenoweth, and here comes that 81, the road warrior, Andrew Gressel.
Oh, someone putting out a lot of smoke. I believe he might have oiled down a little bit down into turn 1, but we're about to find out. That's Caden Wright into number 1. And my mistake, I thought that was a trail of fluid down the inside, but I don't believe it is.
That could have been bad, but luckily no troubles for the leaders as they work through 1 and 2 for the first time after that smoke. Everything looks to be good down there in turn 1. Chase Pinsino now coming under fire, as you see. Jake Sheridan and Steckley going at it deep in the pack. Gibbons, Lawrence, Benedict, all there. 5 cars in that shuffle.
Look at how much ground Andrew Gressel and Sean Chenoweth have lost by battling side by side. Gressel about 15 car lengths behind Danny Benedict now after he finally clears the 89C of Chenoweth.
Andrew Gressel, former series champ, 3rd most wins in the history of the APC Tour. Working down through 1 and 2. There's Steckley down the backstretch, leading the way with Sheridan in tow. And how about that? Our top 3, all of them, under 28 years old. It says a lot for the future of this sport. You got some talented youngsters out there.
Oh, you're absolutely right. Out in front, he used to be one of the young guns with J.R. Fitzpatrick, a KG veteran these days. Just completed lap number 33. He's got a half straightaway advantage over Chase Pinsino.
And while J.R. Fitzpatrick loves to win, there is nothing else J.R. Fitzpatrick likes better than to just put a whipping on the field. And Adam, this could be one of those nights for him. I mean, we've seen him do it at Flamborough before. He's taking him to the woodshed here tonight. A 2.5 lead over second.
He's motivated, that's for sure. And he's one of those drivers that could make his way back into the points chase if he has a great run and some of the other contenders falter.
Right now, Steckley, Sheridan, and Lawrence, well, fast. And they haven't really made a whole lot of ground since this one got going. Fitzpatrick was quick to blast up into the lead. And with 36 laps done, he's almost taken the lead for the most laps led here on the night.
A couple minutes ago, we talked about Sean Chenoweth bearing down on the top 10. Now he's sliding the wrong direction. He's just overtaken by Tyler DiVincenzo. Cole Quinton going to be the next in line to try to make a move on the 89C. So things going in the wrong direction for the moment for the driver from Drumbo.
Well, there you see the 89C is Sean Chenoweth and Ontario's fastest ginger in the Stage with Style 18, Cole Quinton. making, I believe this is APC start number 3 for him on the year. Getting his feet wet. He's been running weekly at Flamborough Speedway. There's back up to Pinsino, the other youngster running second. And you can see that car in the distance, right about there, way down the track. That's JR Fitzpatrick. He's laying the boots to him right now.
Yeah, Fitzpatrick a little more than a tenth of a second faster than the field right now, lap after lap.
Pinsino, Gamble still battling for that second spot. And Chase Pinsino's father, a former Cascar sportsman racer, and his grandfather, heavily involved in motorsports between an engine business, ran an ASA team for an awful long time, as well as a Busch team, and owned US 131 Dragway in Michigan.
I'd say that's fairly involved in the sport.
He's been around. I believe they were part of that whole Comber deal when they tried to get that going as well on the 401 down Windsor Way. And so comes from a racing background. Got a lot of people supporting me. He brings a lot of fans to Delaware on Fridays, and he is having a great run here tonight. But now Gamble's got him loose.
Gamble's got him loose, and Josh Dottie is pouring on the pressure to Corey Luciano. He can see Kyle Steckley's car getting bigger and bigger in his mirror. And now Kyle Steckley is right there on the back bumper of Josh Dottie. So he's got to get a move on, and Corey Luciano is feeling the pressure at the moment.
Well, and Steckley looks in the rearview mirror, and he sees the 52 of Sheridan, as well as the 10 of Gibbons and the 78 sneaking up on his back door. How many times does Stottie have to get into him before he finally moves him? It's been a couple bumps now to let him know he's there.
That's usually all you get in short track racing. A couple of, hey, I'm here bumps, and then it's a, hey, I'm moving you. Jake Gemmel to the inside of Pinsino. We've got a battle for second.
Gemmel with position on the bottom again. His maiden victory came here at Delaware Speedway. He's got one on the year here in 2023. That came at Flamborough when JR Fitzpatrick hit the wall while carrying a big lead at that race late. Gemmel will admit he kind of backed into that one. There's Luciano now finally getting rooted up off the bottom by Stottie, and he's in trouble because here they come. It's a land rush to the left-hand side of the 94.
You can see the brake rotors on the 94 glowing a little bit orange. So I think he might have used up, or heated up those front brakes, but now that he's up out of the groove, he's going to slide back a number of spots, still having a great run as he tried to get in line behind Gibbons, but Joe Lawrence was having none of that. The 78 of Lawrence going to get by as well, so Corey Luciano slides back to the 9th spot.
Well, before he tried getting in line behind Gibbons, he tried to get in line in front of Gibbons. That didn't work out very well either. Now he's got Benedict beating down the back door. You see Pinsino still running third, but he's got one tough customer in primetime, Josh Dottie, beating on his tail.
We passed the halfway point of this one. JR Fitzpatrick still laying down laps faster than the second place car. There is a little bit of traffic, so that'll affect lap times here as they work through it. Chase Pinsino went up the racetrack pretty early as they were working to the outside of Zach Sprung. He nearly opened the door to Josh Dottie. 3 wide off of turn number 2. That's not going to work, fellas.
Well, they get back double file at least. Pinsino has a lot of pressure coming from behind. The Sauble veteran, multi-time track champion Josh Dottie, rattling the youngster's cage. Got him moved up off the bottom. Now will Pinsino slam the door? Dottie's in there, and now Chase Pinsino.
Oh, trouble in turn 4. Luciano goes around. There was contact with Luciano and Danny Benedict. He goes around. Andrew Gressel went to the outside. I believe he avoided any contact. And Corey Luciano in that 94, who ran in the top 5 for much of the first half of this race, most of the first half.
Definitely made some strides since the start of the season in that 94 car.
This is a tough division. You know, we talked about Patrick Friel getting the win at Delaware Speedway, and it took years to do it. It really should take years to get a win in late models because there's teams out here that have been doing it for decades.
You want to talk about a tough deal. It's a tough enough deal when you go from a bone stock to a super stock to a late model, let alone he was a road course racer before he got into this. You know, that makes it even tougher.
Different game. We'll have a look at the replay over to the right side of the screen, and they were going around the slower car as Zach sprung, and I'm not sure if Luciano was getting loose before the contact, but I believe there was contact with the 54 Danny Benedict. Timing and scoring, we can hear race director Trevor Hambley talking to scoring over in the next room, trying to get things sorted out. They're a slick team when you got Pete Gutler up there and Nathan Christensen working together with Trevor Hambley. Things go a lot smoother.
You just leave the timing and scoring to them.
Choose cone is out already. Good job.
Is the blinking light new?
The blinking light is definitely
okay.
new.
Okay. I like it.
Outside, inside, inside, inside. Kyle Steckley going to go outside and pick up some space. Joe Lawrence going to go to the outside and pick up some ground.
So will Benedict and Gressel.
Blair Wickett back on the track, laps down to the leaders. 54 laps complete. Blair Wickett has only completed 16 of them. One to go. J.R. Fitzpatrick will set the pace from that outside row. I like the decision by Kyle Steckley and Joe Lawrence to jump up to the high side. They've got a lot of faith in J.R. Fitzpatrick.
Well, definitely a strong car for the 84 here tonight. Happy to give up the bottom. Biggest key is just to keep that half car length lead over Gemmel through 1 and 2. Green's out in the air. And Fitzpatrick will nose out front in 1 and 2.
Good launch for Fitzpatrick, but he got squirrely in 1 and 2. That allowed Gemmel to close all that gap, forced Kyle Steckley to back out of it. Fitzpatrick going to lead the way off of turn number 4.
In 1 and 2 they work. Fitzpatrick will close the deal. You've got Gemmel, then Steckley. Side by side, Chase Pinsino on the bottom. Joe Lawrence up top. And you see the other championship contender, the 52 of Sheridan, mired in traffic on the inside.
Joe Lawrence up on the outside of Chase Pinsino, trying to work that outside groove. Pinsino just fast enough to keep him struggling up there on the high side, unable to clear that 22.
Lawrence not giving up though.
Watch his line in turn 4. He'll take such a huge arc from the middle of 3 and 4 to the exit. He goes way up the racetrack trying to stay in the throttle, but Pinsino is able to roll back to the throttle quicker.
An FCF custom fab machine on the bottom. Also sponsored by Windsor Life. On the outside, it's the 78 of Lawrence, sponsored by Great Lakes Concrete and Paragon Office Installation. And look, it's high-speed pace laps because right behind them, Benedict and Stoddy side by side.
Joe Lawrence changed his approach last time off of 4. He kept the car much tighter on the racetrack and got the power down in a straight line. He has taken back that position at the scoring loop, but still not able to clear the 22 and get back in line.
There you get the 22, a lot of room off turn 2. But at the same time, you're racing a rookie. You don't want to crowd him too tight, make him make a mistake.
No, absolutely right. As Lawrence really trying to maintain his speed, but Chase Pinsino doing a great job on the bottom. The leaders are single file out ahead of them. The action is here in this battle between Lawrence and Pinsino, and right behind them was Stoddy and Benedict.
4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, all stacked up. You see Gressel now in 8th, and Lawrence has closed the deal. Now it's Benedict who's going to take a try to the outside of Pinsino down into 1.
Danny Benedict in that 54, dealing with Josh Stoddy on the inside. Jake Sheridan just got moved up, I believe, by Tom Gibbons. So Sheridan going to lose a spot to the 10 car.
Sheridan right behind that battle.
Oh, Pinsino just got all sorts of loose off the second turn. They're going to go 3 wide into 3. Stoddy to the inside, Benedict to the outside.
What a bold move by Josh Stoddy. Pinsino backed out of a discretion, the better part of valor. He was in the wrong part of town there, and now he's coming under fire by the road warrior, Andrew Gressel.
Gressel in that 81, so good up here at his home track of Sauble Speedway. You're not missing anything at the front of the field, folks. The top three, J.R. Fitzpatrick with 6 car lengths over Shea Gemmel. A little more than that, Kyle Steckley right behind Gemmel, but they're not really contesting. But what's going on deeper in the field is absolutely entertaining.
Yeah, they're going at it hammer and tongs back there. Gibbons now up underneath the rear bumper of Gressel. You've got Della Riva working over the 22 of Pinsino. And how about this? Jake Sheridan, he's getting bypassed by Ontario's fastest ginger. Here comes Cole Quinton having a night.
Jake Sheridan is not having things his way right now. Tyler DiVincenzo to the inside. They make a little bit of contact in turn number 3. DiVincenzo still on the bottom as they work through 1 and 2. He's trying to clear the 52 as well.
It almost looks like something's going amiss maybe on that 52 car. I know we saw it last night at Delaware. Jake Hooker was running like a bear, and then showed a picture later on in the night how the tire had basically come apart during the course of the evening. So I'm not sure if that's the case or just what's wrong with the 52, but they're not their usual fast self here tonight.
No, they're certainly not. Talk about the points a little bit. Kyle Steckley came into this race 4 points ahead of Joe Lawrence. Joe Lawrence is 1 spot behind Kyle Steckley right now, so that's a good points night for him. It could be better, but it's still pretty good. But Jake Sheridan is the driver who runs the risk of falling out of this points battle.
Well, we also could see J.R. Fitzpatrick find his way back in, and we're not done. We saw Joe Lawrence rally late the last race out at Sauble, or at Sunset, excuse me, to take the late race win over Josh Stoddy. So we're 1 caution away from this thing being flipped upside down.
Eric Della Riva trying to take over the 9th spot from Chase Pinsino in the 22. He drives that 74 to the inside. He will clear him in turn number 3. So Della Riva picks up a spot. Pinsino falls back 1 just ahead of the 18 of Cole Quinton.
And I told you to be entertaining watching that 81 of Gressel make his way through the field as you see Della Riva, Pinsino, Cole Quinton, and Sheridan in that pack. But he has been able to do it. Gets around Tom Gibbons. Gressel 7th right now and having a whale of a performance from the back of the pack.
At the front, J.R. Fitzpatrick and Shea Gemmel are swapping faster laps. 1 lap, Fitzpatrick is quicker by a few 100ths. The next lap, Shea Gemmel is quicker by a few 100ths.
Inside the last quarter of this one, 22 laps to go for your leader. And J.R. Fitzpatrick, again, still just out there on cruise control right there. Just a leisurely Saturday night drive.
A little further back, Andrew Gressel, after charging through this field from the back, is now under pressure from Tom Gibbons again. A couple of drivers who have raced up here an awful lot at Sauble Speedway doing battle there in turn 4. Gressel slides up the track. Gibbons trying to keep that 10 pinned to the inside. Can't quite make the move as our race leader back into traffic goes to the outside of Zachary Sprung.
Here's your leader, J.R. Fitzpatrick. 2-time champ, 2nd all-time on the win list. And with less than 20 to go, looks like he could be well on his way. And believe it or not, Adam, J.R. Fitzpatrick has never won an APC race here at Sauble Speedway.
I find that hard to believe.
It's in the program. It's got to be true.
I believe you.
So we'll see if he can pull off number 1 here tonight. And how about this? Tom Gibbons not giving up on Gressel. They're still going at it. Down in 3 and 4.
And same with Gressel. You can see those front brake rotors just starting to glow a little bit of orange. And that's when Tom Gibbons able to get around that 81.
And we also heard rumor Adam, we might be joined by another former Sauble winner at Delaware Speedway. Heard rumor that former champ Matt Pritico going to be making a return to the series for the 200-lapper on Canada Day, or Great Canadian Weekend.
Love to see Matt Pritico come out and play with us. Kyle Steckley starting to pour the pressure on to Shea Gemmel in that number 3. Gemmel is equally as fast as the leader Fitzpatrick, but Steckley looks to be a little bit quicker than both of them.
Little APC Canusa on APC Canusa action with 13 to go. Steckley's got him jacked up off turn 4. Couldn't quite seal the deal down into 1. He'll have to tuck in line. They're going to have to work around Sean Chenoweth now, the lap car, down into 3 and 4.
And that was just a little bit of a poke. One sharp poke on the back end in turn number 4 last time. Now they'll go to the outside of Chenoweth.
Well, and again, 22's got far more to lose than the 3 does right now. So I'm sure he would much rather just finish 3rd with that thing in one piece than risk tearing it up to pick up an extra point, considering he's got everybody that he's racing against in the points covered here tonight.
That may be true, but Joe Lawrence is really closing the gap in a hurry on both of these drivers. Chenoweth doing a great job keeping his car on the bottom of the racetrack, but he didn't slow down too much. That allowed Joe Lawrence to get into this fray. Without a yellow, this is going to be a great 3 or 4 car battle for second. If we get a yellow, this is going to be a wild, wild ending.
If they were to finish right now, I've got Fitzpatrick trimming this point lead down to about 12, so he put himself back more into the picture heading into that great Canadian race weekend at Delaware Speedway. 7 laps to go, and you see Gemmel still holding off the 22. Gemmel's been just fast enough here tonight. Solid second place car for the 3 machine.
Yeah, he's done a good job. Hasn't made a lot of mistakes out there, but he's got to be perfect because Kyle Steckley is darn good in that 22 machine. J.R. Fitzpatrick closing in on some heavy, heavy lap traffic with 5 laps to go. He's going to have to encounter this if we stay green.
Gemmel's blocking the bottom. The 22 definitely better in the corner. He's just not able to get the power to it quite the way the 3 is. And you know what? They were confused all day in practice on that 3-car scratching your heads, upset. They were really struggling with the setup on it, but they worked almost as hard as Stoddy's crew did, and I think they hit on it.
Well, they've hit on something. He's out there holding off the 22 with Steckley, but soon there's going to be 3 cars to hold off as here comes Joe Lawrence and Josh Stoddy with the laps winding down. 2 to go this time for Fitzpatrick.
Fitzpatrick off turn 4 to the stripe. Here you see the battle for second still going on. There's Fitzpatrick working through 1 and 2. You can't even see second place on the same screen. He's got about a straightaway lead on that battle for second. J.R. Fitzpatrick trying to go to victory lane and trim this lead to 12.
And Fitzpatrick is not trying to make any moves. He's tucked into line. All he's got to do is run clean through 3 and 4.
Here 3 and 4 for the final time. It's the Cambridge Rigging sponsored entry year 2-time champ going to victory lane for yet another time. His first trip to victory lane at Sauble in an APC race. J.R. Fitzpatrick able to get it done here tonight.
Shea Gemmel with a solid second place finish. Kyle Steckley going to come home 3rd. Joe Lawrence 4th. Josh Stoddy 5th. A tough night for Jake Sheridan in the point standings. Folks, we are soon going to head down to VP Racing Fuel's victory lane, but tonight might be the perfect night to head down into the pits after the race and meet your favorite drivers, go get some autographs, get up close and personal with these race teams. They did a great job out there. Some good, hard, clean racing here at Sauble Speedway. And J.R. Fitzpatrick takes a well-deserved victory in the Stewart's Equipment 100 presented by Kubota. Fitzpatrick going to take a victory lap around the racetrack. Jamie Maudsley mentioned it, never won an APC race here at Sauble Speedway prior to tonight. 6th through 10th, folks, Danny Benedict 6th, Tom Gibbons 7th, Andrew Gressel 8th, Eric Delariva 9th, Chase Pinsino rounds out the top 10.
11th to be Cole Quinton in the 18C, 12th Jake Sheridan, 13th Tyler DiVincenzo, 14th Corey Luciano, 15th Sean Chenoweth.
Zach Sprung, Blair Wickett, and Caden Wright round out the field, and Clinton Jeffrey is about to take it away in VP Racing Fuel's victory lane, where the crew for J.R. Fitzpatrick comes down to celebrate with the driver from Cambridge, Ontario.
Well, you know they're going to be really pumped about this one. JR's been disappointed in how his season has gone so far this year, and they will work on getting him out. They'll take the helmet off, get him a second to get his stuff on. Everybody in here for congratulations for JR. And you guys talked about how he flat out wanted to whoop him. Well, he got it done here tonight.
And he did it with confident moves, bold decisions, restarting on the outside. It's not the traditional way to do it. I just think he had so much confidence in the speed of that race car that he could hang it out on the high side, get out in front and drive away. That's exactly what he did. Getting JR fixed up with whatever hat he needs to be fixed up with. We're down there, Jack, right in the window of that race car, so we'll be able to see him as he climbs out. And Clinton Jeffrey, take it away.
Well, he'll put on the winner's hat for his first time winning an APC event here at the beach. How about it, Sauble Speedway? J.R. Fitzpatrick wins the Stewart's 100 tonight. We get JR over here and get a couple words with him. Well, JR, we talked about how you would be happy to go out and give a butt whooping tonight, and that's exactly what you did. Big smile on your face tonight. You cleaned him off early tonight, JR.
Yeah, the car was really good. I knew we were going to be good, better than we were here last time. We had them old tires in practice, and the car was still pretty good, so we made great changes thanks to the whole team. Hi to my girls back home. My parents are watching too, so this is the cool thing about G-Force to get to watch. Got to thank all you fans at Sauble Beach. This is my first full-body stock car win here since 1995 in a junior late model, so back when I used to kick Joe Jr.'s ass around here. So it's I'm excited to be here.
Let's talk about points, JR. You weren't in the talk coming into today. You're going to be about 12 out. You're going to need some help, but you're still part of the discussion going into Delaware's finale.
Yeah, definitely. 200 laps, anything can happen. Doesn't show how this team's been running. We've had great cars here and there. We struggle a little bit, but the Flamborough deal is unfortunate. The alternator is unfortunate. It's just bad luck. The car is on rails. While I'm here, I got to thank Cambridge Rigging, H2Go Mobile Wash. Who else? All Auto, sorry, they're a new brand on me this year. Just got to thank everybody. Thanks a lot.
J.R. Fitzpatrick gets it done here at the beach, guys, in a flat-out butt-whooping.
Almost 30 years since he won in a full-fendered car here at Sauble Speedway. That is hard to believe.
He didn't say full-sized. He said full-fendered, right? That's awesome.
This driver did a whale of a job holding off an identical-looking car behind him, but Shea Gemmel comes home with a solid second-place finish.
Well, Shea, Kyle was bumping that back bumper off your car all night tonight. Did you get a chance to talk to Kyle after that race? And what a great run for you, second here tonight. That's something you got to be real proud of.
Yeah, no, I'm really proud of our guys and our car today. You got to thank APC Canusa, Miami Muscle, Raycon Chevrolet, Epic Racewear, Fram, AC Delco, all of our supporting sponsors. We struggled today again in practice, and we had to throw a lot of things at it just to get a car to turn through the middle and on exit. So we had a half-decent car in qualifying. We came through we started up front there and was in the top two there for a bit. And I don't know how many races I have left in this series, so I'm going to take as many positions as I can.
All right, there you have him, Shea Gemmel, smiling here. Second place for the number 3.
And third place spent a lot of the time early in this race, still mired deep in the top 10, pretty much where he started. And once they got towards the midway point, started to pick cars off and wound up with a shot at second, but comes home third.
Well, Kyle, you're close. You almost took the back bumper off Shea there at the end. You're knocking on it as much as you could. Still a solid run for you. Third, I know you'd want to be 2 spots up on the podium here, but good points day. Those other 2 guys finished behind you tonight.
Yeah, it was a good points day. We had a really good APC Auto Parts Stewart's Equipment 22 here tonight. I think we might have had something for JR if we could have got by Shea, but I guess he really wanted that second for some reason. You know, he's playing a bit of games, lapping cars there, and I try to race him as respectful as I could. Obviously, we're APC teammates. I think we should have some respect for each other, but we both raced hard, and I'll take third when we're ahead of the other 2 points contenders.
There you have it. Kyle Steckley will finish third tonight. Shea Gemmell will be second, and your winner, J.R. Fitzpatrick, picks it up here at Sauble Beach tonight in the Stewart's 100. That'll finish things up trackside, guys.
Thanks so much, Clinton Jeffrey. When we go to the final race at Delaware Speedway, Clint gets to be a lot busier. There's a live pit road, and he's going to put in the steps that night.
I would suspect we're going to see a car count in the mid to high 20s as well.
I would think so. Great night here at Sauble Speedway. Amazing how you can come to the same place 1 month apart and have a completely different story. These drivers put on a heck of a show.
Well, this was the first place we ever went green to checker with no yellows. Back a number of years ago, people were complaining the race was too short.
It happens. Folks, go down into the pits. You won't complain. Meet these drivers. Check out these race cars. But for the rest of the crew here at G-Force TV, thank you so much for tuning in. For Jamie Maudsley and Clinton Jeffrey Trackside, I'm Adam Ross saying thanks for tuning in.
Copyrighted broadcast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of G-Force TV. G-Force TV would like to thank you for your support and for watching today's broadcast.